Hey there, welcome back to day 4 of your New Year's Pilates challenge. My name is Jess and I hope the challenge is going well so far for you. Let me know in the comments how your body is feeling so far. Are you feeling some of that Pilates soreness yet? Do you need to ramp it up in intensity? Do you need a rest day yet? How are you doing? Please let me know. We still have a couple more weeks of this challenge to go, so please let me know your feedback so I can make the challenge better for you and what your goals are. Now, today, glutes. 28 minutes of straight glute work. So no props needed today. I'm not using props myself, but as I was getting into it and moving, I realized a loop band would be fantastic for today, just around your thighs for most of the challenge. Or even ankle weights if you've got those would be great to add in. Or even toning ball or a light weight, light-ish. You could go really like as heavy as like a 10-pounder if you want, but for some of the 4-point kneeling work, if you put that weight behind your knee, then you'll get extra burn. So feel free to go ahead and grab those, and then we're gonna start standing today. Okay, we're gonna start standing today, going right into it with some squats. Feet are outer hip width. Take a big inhale, big exhale, and then let's do it. Squat down and drive yourself up. Inhale down, exhale, press through those heels to rise. Being mindful that as you're going down into your squats, your knees stay in line with your ankles. They're not wobbling side to side. They're just tracking nice and smooth. And if your knees tend to get all clicky and make noise or maybe kind of hurt during squats, make sure that you keep some weight on the outsides of your feet and the arches are lifted. We call that a tripod stance because you have equal weight between your big toe, your little toe, and your heel. Now, instead of coming up all the way and squeezing your bum forwards like we often want to do, let's instead come up almost all the way, just to the point where you still have a little bit of flexion happening at your hips. So you're still slightly hinged forwards. The knees are still slightly bent. And that way you actually get more out of your glutes. You would think that by coming up all the way and pressing hips forwards and giving them a good squeeze, you would get more, but you're actually taking away the tension there. And by not coming up all the way, you're keeping tension right onto the glutes. They have to work harder to hold your weight. Let's go for 3, 2, and last one, hold it down. Little pulses, nice and small, core is engaged. Your weight is more into your heels. Let's go for 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, and 1, drive it up. Good job. Okay, now let's head down to the mat. Let's go right onto hands and knees. Before we get into more glute work, let's do a few cat-cows. Fingers spread wide, shoulders over wrists, hips over knees. Inhale, prepare. Exhale, tuck the tail. Round the back into your cat. Inhale, hold. Exhale, unwind. Lengthening out, maybe a slight arch through your back. And we'll go with 2 more of those. Just adding in a little bit of spinal mobility. To keep our bodies mobile so that we can work through our full ranges and get the most we can out of our glute work today. All right, now establish neutral. Push the floor away, connect through your core, and feel shoulder blades slide wide across your back like you're pushing the floor away. Then let's start here by taking your right leg long. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. And maybe wiggle around so you don't hit your wall. So just a straight leg lift here, nothing too crazy. And you're more than welcome to do this on your elbows Or a lot of people really like using hand weights, like heavier weights, so you can hold on, kind of like a push-up grip you might see in fitness. Whatever works for you. But just make sure you have a bit more weight into your back knee. You're not leaning forwards because that's gonna put a ton of tension onto your wrist. Keep the fingers wide. Push into the fingertips a little bit. That will also help your wrist. And again, like we've been talking about throughout this challenge, we're not letting ourselves sink into the shoulders. All of which will help out your wrist so you can focus more on your glutes instead of the pain in your wrist. Getting some nice length as you reach. How high can you reach without sinking your low back down? Reconnect into that core. Only for 2 more. Last one, leave that leg lifted, tiny circles. Just for 3, 2, 1, reverse directions. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring it in. And then let's go on to the elbows. Shoulders over top of your wrist. Now, flex that right ankle, drive the heel to the sky into some donkey kicks. Still working on that same side. You're raising the roof with your flat foot. I should mention here as well, if you have little ankle weights, this would be a good class to add those in. You could also add in a loop band. Still keeping it prop free today. Heads up though, little tiny hand weights for tomorrow, like 2 to up to 5 pounds. We're gonna do some arm work tomorrow, but today, focusing on the glutes. We have 3 more, keeping shoulders wide from your ears. Last one, we hold it up, little pulses. 10, 9. Connecting through the front of that core, making sure ribs have not sunk. Now hold the knee high. Open it out to the side a little, then close it back in. Exhale, turn out. Inhale, parallel. Notice how my knee stays high. I'm just rotating from the hip socket, really fighting to hold the hip high the whole time. And by hip, I mean knee. You know what I mean? It's a small motion. If you make it too big, you're gonna lose the work. You want to keep hips level. Only for 2. Last one, keep it turned open laterally. Bring your knee towards your right shoulder and then drive it back and across. Inhale, drive that knee towards your shoulder. Exhale, press your heel back and across. Almost like there's a door right next to you and you're trying to slam it closed each time you press across. Knee continues to stay high. And your left glute will be working here as well, just to hold you steady. We have 3. And by the way, if kneeling doesn't work for you, you can do any of this kneeling work, usually standing. So maybe you hold on to like the back of a chair, something like that. Find a little bend to your knees, but you can do these same motions standing. All right, hold it. Pulse to the side a little bit, keeping knee high, thinking about pressing the shin higher to the sky, but pressing across. And enjoy that burn. We only have another 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Take a shell stretch. Ooh. That glute is on fire. Let's walk our hands to the left, hips a little to the right, and you should feel a really nice stretch there. And we might as well do that to the other side as well, because again, that left glute was working to hold us stable. All right, and then we gotta get ready for your second side. So, right away back down onto hands and knees. or you could go to elbows, but we started on the hands before. Do what you did before. Shoulders wide, push the floor away, and that inner crease faces forwards. Let's send the left leg long. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Fighting to hold hips pretty level here. And we do have some residual fire in that right glute. So this side will be a little harder, but we can do it. Take breaks if needed, but you'll get yourself through. We only have 3 more. Hold it high, tiny circles. Watching that shoulder stay wide from the ears during those circles. One doesn't kind of go forwards because you're twisting. Reverse. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Take a second, release, and then we drop it down to the elbows. Let's get it done. Shoulders right over top of those elbows, watching that you're not leaning forwards. And we head into our donkey kicks. Exhale, drive the heel up. Inhale, control it down. Raise the roof with your flat foot. You have the toes drawn back to your shin, driving through your heel. And that might give you the feeling of a deeper connection into that left glute. Just 4 more. We're past halfway through this one. Last one here. Hold it high. Little pulse. Raise the roof higher and higher. Keep that heel close to your bum. Hamstrings are working here too. Last one. Relax down for just a second, and then we go back up. Hold the knee high, open and close. Turn out laterally, turn back to parallel. Fighting to hold the knee high the whole time. Keeping hips level. Less is more. We have 5. And really turn that leg back to parallel. Oh my gosh, that's a good burn. It's just returning the leg parallel. Twice more. And last one, we keep that knee turned open. We bring the knee to the shoulder and then we press it back and across. Knee high. Leg stays turned out. And you're just driving back. Almost feeling like you're pinching your bum cheeks together as you drive that heel across. Can you get your knee higher? Can you press away from the floor more? We have 3 more. It's almost over. This is where we create big changes in the body, is when it feels like you can barely make it through, but you do it anyways. Hold it across, little pulse across. I didn't expect this series to burn so much. I'm winging this class, so it's a surprise burn for me too. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Take your shell stretch. Oh, that's a good one. I don't know if I've ever done that like high knee across thing before. Kind of just made it up there, but oh my gosh, I love that. Switching sides. All right. Next, let's lie down on our sides. I'm gonna lie on my left side so that I can work the right glute again instead of the left one right away. Now, you can either go all the way down flat on your side, supporting your head, or maybe you prop yourself up onto your elbow. If you're doing that, make sure you've got elbow right underneath your shoulder. You're not leaning past it. That's really important. If anything, bring your elbow too far away. Then you gotta make sure you slide that shoulder away from your ear and lift your bottom waist. Notice how much I moved there. I'm really lifting high to avoid sinking in the shoulder. Now, Clamshells. Your feet are in line with your bum, knees are forwards of the body. Let's do it. Classic clam. Just simply opening and closing. Keeping your hips stacked steady. All of what we've been doing so far would be awesome to do with a loop band. I kind of regret not throwing that in today, but that's okay. I'm making it hard enough that you really don't need it, but it's awesome if you do it with it. If you're not doing it this time with a loop band or with those ankle weights, maybe you do this workout again later. Just because this is your 21-day challenge does not mean you're not able to redo these workouts later on, right? What's going on in your waist? Have you sunk? Let's lift back up. And we only have 2 more of these. Keeping your top hip really steady is so important here. You do not want your hip rolling back. Don't worry about going high. Now we're gonna keep that knee turned up to the sky. Kick it out, bend, and then close. So just simply adding in a little kick. Make sure that your top hip stays steady. If your neck is tired in this position, again, you can lie down, or it might just be helpful to look down at your bottom elbow, or maybe top hand around the side of your head. Think about reaching higher away from the floor as you go to kick that leg. Last one here. Then let's leave the leg long, bring it back, lift and lower. My neck is getting sore, so I think I'm gonna just go down today. Now, we've moved our foot back in space so that the heel is in line with the back of your bum. We did this already in this challenge, just a side leg lift. Watch that you're not letting your hip move around. I know I've said that already, but it's so important. If you go too high, the foot goes forwards, the hip rolls back. Keep the hip forwards and keep your knee and toe facing forwards. If you turn up laterally, it changes the focus. Maybe keep going with that, or if you're up for it, we might as well add in a little side plank here. So elbow or hand, bottom knee stays down, just tuck it back a little more so your shin is kind of parallel to you. Then, as we go to lift the leg, also lift your hips, and then dip your hips down and up. Getting into the bottom glute here a little bit more. We only have 4 more of those. 2. And last one, hold the leg up, hold your hips up if you can, tiny circles. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, reverse. Keep pushing away from the floor. If you need to lower your hip, that's fine. And then lower your hip. All right, big elbow crack there. Maybe a butterfly stretch in between, a figure 4, really anything that feels relieving for your hip. Settle the shoulders. Any little movements that feel good for the stretch, you're welcome to include. And then we got your second side. Try your best to match your positioning that you had on the first side, although if this side feels different, if your neck hates this side, that's okay. You don't have to match it exactly. Elbow underneath shoulder, glide that shoulder away, lift through the bottom waist, so obliques are working here too. Classic clamshells. I always like the hand on the hip there, so you have tactile feedback for yourself. Do what works for you. When I do my clam, I like to slow it down a little at the top. Not exactly doing a pulse, but Definitely trying to go a little deeper into it without moving the hip. We only have 3 more like that. And then we add in the kick to this next one. Open the knee, kick the leg, bend and close. Open, kick, bend and close. As you kick, you're still keeping your hip forward. Hip really wants to roll back so your leg can go higher. It's okay if your leg's not high. And it's okay if this side feels different than your first. This side for me today, definitely a little bit tighter. I feel like I cannot kick nearly as high. It'll be interesting watching the video back for myself and seeing the difference. Maybe that's something you do for yourself. If you notice a difference between your sides with any exercise, maybe you get out your camera for yourself and compare it visually. Or even to just compare your progress. In the fitness world, progress photos are usually the thing to see how your body changes, but what if you did progress videos to see how your Pilates form changes? That would be cool, right? I've definitely noticed an improvement over the years of just filming little Instagram videos for myself. All right, that's enough of those. Now our leg stays long, it goes back, your hip kind of goes forwards and the leg lowers and lifts. And I was down for this one, so I'm gonna take a little break here before we add in that hip lift coming up. Reaching long out of your foot. Just a couple more like that. And then after this one, add in your little plank hip dip if you did it on the first side. Set up that shoulder, lift the waist first, then lift your hip and lift your foot. And make all of those little adjustments that you might need to. Spreading your thighs away from your hips. Pretty much equally. Keeping the front of your core engaged so ribs don't fly forwards. Only 3. Last one, we hold it up. We've got this. Tiny circles. 5, 4, circling higher and higher. Reverse. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good job. That's over with. Butterfly or any other stretch. Maybe you rock side to side. Fluttering the knees. All right, we gotta keep going. Just a few more minutes. It wouldn't be a glute workout without some lunges. I always find lunges are like the best exercise for your glutes. So let's do them. Standing at the top of your mat, feet together, step one leg back behind you, lunging down, stand up, change sides. Just warming up through an alternating lunge. And you just go down as low as feels good. Today, my knees tapping the floor fairly easily. I'm not too wobbly. I say as I wobble. But it's okay if you're not going nearly as low. It's okay if you'd rather go back to squats. All right, let's boost up the intensity. Stay on your right foot. Yeah, right leg first. Step your left leg back and then drive it up. Finding your balance, then step it back again. You're welcome to hold on to a wall or a chair, anything that you might need to. I'd rather you have a little less wobble so you can feel more glute than for you to be struggling just to hold your balance. Make sure as you step back, you also hinge forwards a little bit. If you stay vertical in space, it's going to be more quads. And that's not today's focus. Maybe another day in the future. We only have 3, 2, and last one. Step back, hold your lunge, front leg bent, back leg straight, hands to your forehead. Then we're gonna hinge. Reach your chest beyond your knee and then come upright again. Whatever breath works for you here. Your back might appreciate the exhale going down so that your core can cinch up tighter to support you. But it's kind of harder to get yourself back up. So wherever you feel like the breath is benefiting you the most. And only tipping so far down that your back can stay straight, you're not bending. And only as far down as feels good, of course. We've got 5 more. 4. Putting all of your weight into that back foot. That's why it becomes so much effort for your glute. I think we have 1 more. And then no more. Stand up, shake it out. We just have our other side, and then no more sides and no more hard work. So set up, left foot forwards. Find your balance on that left leg. Step the right leg back, and then we stand up tall, driving the knee forwards. It's okay if your 2 sides do not feel the same. It's pretty normal, especially with balance, for your 2 sides to be different. 5 more. Last one like that. And then we step back into our lunge and we hold it, taking hands to the forehead, straighten your back leg, and hinge. Also, I feel like lunges are always great cardio. I always lose my breath during them anyways. So a little cardio bonus. We only have 4 more, and then we're done the hard work for today. Get yourself through these last 3. Last 2. And last one. Woo, step back up. Shake it out. And then let's circle your arms around. Reach straight up. Then keep your back straight. Hinge yourself forwards. Reach your chest forwards for as long as possible, then eventually fold. Big breath, hang heavy. Then you can either keep fingertips on the floor or hands on your knees, but lengthen your spine. Stick your chest up and forwards. Then pedal out your ankles. Not your ankles. It's sort of that action, but your heels stay grounded. I want you to stick your hips side to side. That's what I meant to say. You want to let your other knee bend so you can really pop your hip towards the straight leg, giving yourself a stretch for the side of your glute. 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Fold down again. Inhale, exhale, roll back up. Head comes up last. Final arm circle. You're all done. And another workout done. Day 4, I hope your glutes felt that. Mine sure did. And as I mentioned earlier, tomorrow is going to be all about your arms. So maybe stick on your mat a little longer and give yourself some extra glute stretches, but then I'll see you tomorrow with some weights. However heavy you want to go, I'm going to be using just 2-pound toning balls for myself, but whatever you've got, maybe even water bottles or cans of soup. I will see you then. Have a great rest of your day. Bye.